So quite a few days ago, actually, Apple announced the September 12th event where they will be announcing the new iPhone and the new Apple Watch, and who knows what else. Sorry, this happened quite a few days ago, but I did not have time to cover it until just now. There's been a lot of stuff happening recently I haven't really had time to cover on the channel, and I do apologize about that. I've just been very, very busy lately, but I'm always doing my best to get content out for you guys, so as long as you always know that, we haven't had a huge subscriber loss in the last week or so that I wasn't uploading, so hopefully it shall be okay. But today here I wanted to talk predictions real quick, predictions for what exactly is going to go on at this Apple special event on September 12th. Now, I think the first thing that will be announced or talked about at this event will probably be software. We still don't know the release dates for the new software that was announced at WWDC this year. So while all the information about the software is out, I feel like they're going to remind us, probably throw in some statistics about how iOS is like the most used software in the world or some crap like that. They're probably just going to brag about the software for a while and remind us again what some of the awesome features we can expect from these new software versions are. Of course, those will be macOS Mojave, I think that's how you say that, iOS 12, watchOS 5, and then a new version of tvOS as well. And I think, again, they're going to give us some, they always like to bring in figures of like how great their software is and stuff, their download rates and things like that, so they'll probably show us some figures, and they'll try to get us excited for the software, and then they'll do the big reveals of the release dates for each software. I think that's the first thing that's going to happen. It seems like the most logical sense to me, and then we'll know when the software is coming out, the new versions of all that stuff. So that ought to be pretty darn exciting. So cool. Well, some of you may have heard the rumors going around about the new iPad and new MacBook Air. There's talk about a new iPad coming out with much thinner bezels. Think like iPhone 10 kind of thing, with reducing the bezels and having the much larger screen on the iPad, which I personally think would be awesome. There's also talk about a new MacBook Air coming out, which is pretty cool too, because the MacBook Air, in terms of physical design, is pretty outdated and it's really, really due for a refresh. So both those things sound pretty good, but I actually don't think that these will be coming at this event, and here is why. I think the iPad, if they do go with the smaller, thinner bezels on the iPad, I feel like that's a pretty big announcement in and of itself, and they shouldn't try to cram it in here with the other stuff. And as long as you move the iPad to a later, like give the new iPad its own kind of event, you might as well tie the MacBook Air in with that as well. So I don't think either of those will be present at this event. I think there will be another event, maybe in October, where they will showcase the new updated iPad and new updated MacBook Air, because those would both be pretty significant steps forward for this kind of thing. So I really feel like they would need to wait and possibly give them their own event in the future to give them all the stage time that they really deserve. And so, assuming they do not showcase the new MacBook Air and new updated iPad at this event, they'll probably jump, I predict, straight from the software side of things into the Apple Watch Series 4. There have been some leaked images of the Apple Watch Series 4 ahead of the event, which I'm not going to show because I don't want to get in any kind of copyright trouble with my channel. I try to avoid that as much as possible. But you can go look them up on your own. There are leaked out images of the Apple Watch Series 4 with a slightly thinner case, more rounded edges, expanded, larger screen, much smaller bezels, and overall just an improvement in the kind of aesthetic of the entire watch. We don't really know any of the features yet other than the larger screen and the better looking aesthetics, so I'm really excited for them to let us know exactly what will be included in this watch. But like I said, the aesthetics have already been leaked. You can go look them up on your own if you would like. And so I expect that this watch will be a pretty significant leap. We already know that it will be just based on the aesthetics, but I feel like if they're changing the aesthetics that much, they're going to change a lot of the internals as well. So I'm really excited. I feel like this is going to be a pretty big chunk of time for the Apple Watch here. So that'll be pretty cool, and that's one of the other reasons I think they're not going to announce anything else other than the Apple Watch and the iPhone. Both are very significant announcements this time around, especially the Apple Watch. It'll take up big chunks of time, and especially if they're going to talk about software as well at the beginning, which I predicted that they will. I think that, they're going to need the time for the Apple Watch and the iPhone. So, I've kind of just talked a little too much about the Apple Watch here, but go look it up. It looks really, really nice. The Series 4 does, and I'm really excited to see exactly what features are going to come with, and the price as well. And then finally, I think they're, of course, going to save the iPhone announcement for last, because why not save the most exciting thing for last? May not be the most exciting for most people, or some people, but this is the iPhone is Apple's biggest thing, or biggest moneymaker, so it makes sense for them to save this huge announcement till the end of the event. And of course, they're going to announce hopefully 3 new iPhones, and new smaller iPhone, probably just the iPhone 9. There's an updated version of the iPhone 8, and then there will of course be a 10s, and then the coveted 10s Plus that everyone talks so much about. It's going to be an absolutely huge phone. I think way too big if I was going to buy a new iPhone this generation, which I probably won't. My 6 still works just fine. But if I was going to buy a new iPhone this generation, probably go with the 10s. The 10s Plus, from what we've heard, is just way too big. And so yes, those did get leaked as well. You can go find concept images of the aesthetics for the 10s and 10s Plus, but unfortunately not the iPhone 9 yet. We haven't had any images of that leaked yet. Again, I'm not going to show the leaked images here because I don't want to get into any kind of trouble. But that's basically it. So I think they'll end off with that. And again, I'm really excited to see what they're going to pack into the new iPhones. Probably just a faster processor. But who knows? There may be some other exciting things to talk about here. Who knows? Like, most of it's just a mystery at this point as to what exactly will be announced. I'm just kind of giving my predictions of what I expect, but you never really know what they're going to do. And then one more thing I want to tag on to the end of all this is probably, I'd say, as part of the iPhone announcement, they should probably mention wireless charging and talk about AirPower a bit. This was last year with the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 9. And I talked about the Apple Watch Series 3, AirPods, and the iPhone 10 and iPhone 8 being able to support wireless charging. And they showed off an AirPower mat, which is a really, really cool concept, I think, of a mat that could charge all of your devices at once. Just lay them all down on this mat. And I really liked the idea of maybe that concept expanding to other Apple product lines in the future. And so I really hope that AirPower gets mentioned somewhere in this event, and maybe we get a release date, or at least mention that it still exists at this point. And yeah, that pretty much sums up my predictions for what I think will go on during this event. Be sure to put your own predictions down in the comments below. I personally read through and respond to all the comments I receive on my channel, so again, do not feel afraid to comment down below. I love having people comment on the channel. Let me know what exactly you want to see from the new Apple Watch and new iPhones, and what else you think might be talked about at the event. And yeah, anything like that, I'd love to read through and respond. And you guys keep being awesome, and I'll hopefully have some more videos out for you guys later.